About 5 tips that help you save time in home daycare. My name's Christina, and I've been running my own home daycare for 30 years, and I have come up with a million ways to save money. I don't make much of it, so I got to make it last. One thing that I do is try to reuse everything that I buy and use all of it. I will buy whole chickens from a farm, USDA inspected, of course. The meat that I get is USDA approved. And I'll cook a whole chicken and then shred up the meat. That's a lot cheaper than buying chicken breasts or different separate parts like thighs or whatever, and I get a ton of meat out of it. I will do the same thing with a giant pork roast. You save a lot of money buying that because it's a cheap cut of meat. Put it in the crock pot. You can do the same thing with the chicken. It doesn't take as long, but they can both go in the crock pot and come out tender and juicy. I put the pork roast, just throw it in the crock pot, cover it in salt and pepper, and cut up an onion or two and toss in there, and throw in a couple of cloves of garlic. Then I don't put any water in it because it puts off a lot of juice of its own, and then it kind of boils in its own juices, and it's a lot juicier than when you use water. But all the recipes that I see say to use water. I don't. You could put some barbecue rub on it or not. I prefer not to because I like to turn it into a lot of different things. You could put a pack of taco seasoning on it, whatever you like, and then cook it on high all night long, and in the morning it's fork tender, at least by lunch. If it's not done in the morning, it depends on how big it is. But you can use it for a million different things, and that not only saves you a lot of time, it saves you a lot of money. And then use every bit of that. Take it in 2-cup portions, put it in the freezer, and then that way none of it goes to waste, and you can use it bit by bit. You could make quesadillas, tacos, nachos, soups, salads, sandwiches, put barbecue sauce on it and make a barbecue sandwich, sliders. There's a million ways to use pulled pork, and it's a great money saver. Leftovers is my favorite way because you can use every drop by reinventing it into something else of the food that you buy. I do soups or pastas with leftover tidbits of vegetables that's in the refrigerator, or make salads. I do a fruit salad if I have tidbits of different kinds of fruit. There's just like a million ways that you can save everything that you're using. If you have something that's been in the fridge for a while, toss it in the freezer, and then later you can pull it out and put it in a soup or a salad. Smoothies, it's a great way to use stuff up. And food is a big way to lose money because it goes bad, and there's just don't. If you have a bunch of empty snack containers that just have a handful in them, mix it all together and make snack mix. And then you can do the same thing with your containers, save them and use them for art supplies. You can get free paper at the newspaper, like the end of the newspaper roll. They'll give you that when it's too small for them to print on, and you can use that for collage paper or a group mural, or trace the kids on the ground, or just any kind of thing. It's thin paper, so you don't want to paint on it or anything, but there's so many great things that you can use for free. Also the Dollar Tree has a lot of the same things that there is at Walmart, but it's $1.25. We call it deuces, or $1.25 now since they changed the price to $1.25. It made us mad. But you can get a lot of supplies there and do a lot of great things. Also, everything doesn't have to be decorated to the nines. You don't have to put up all these decorations and stuff. You can give the kids a few pieces of construction paper and let them make decorations for your parties. There's a lot of ways to cut corners and save and use what you have. If you're doing a craft or activity, look at the supplies you already have on hand and see, what could I make out of this? Just give them a bunch of wiggly eyes and pom-poms and let them make monster faces. It doesn't have to be any grand thing. It's just you. It's whatever you come up with, your creativity. So just remember that you're doing the best you can, and what you're doing is great, and what you're doing is important. I'm rooting for you.